Hello, my dear friend. This is a channel filled with tales straight from the future, and we have a large collection of stories for children in audio format. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new stories.
The Code of Life, The Digital Tale of Prince Leo. Part 1, The Ailing Techno-King. In the gleaming megacity of Neo-Avalon, there lived a wise and beloved techno-king named Zephyr. He ruled over a vast network of interconnected smart cities, keeping peace and prosperity through advanced technology. But as the years passed, Zephyr's systems began to fail, and his once bright hollow projections started to flicker and fade. Zephyr had 3 sons, Axel, Cyrus, and Leo. They were deeply worried about their father's condition. The best tech medics in Neo-Avalon couldn't fix the problem, and Zephyr grew weaker each day. One evening, as the 3 princes sat in the virtual garden, discussing their father's illness, a mysterious pop-up appeared on their neural interfaces. It spoke of a legendary cure called the Data of Life, a powerful code that could repair any system and even reverse digital aging. Axel, the oldest prince, jumped at the chance to find the Data of Life. He thought to himself, if I bring back this cure, I'll be Dad's favorite. I'll get to rule Neo-Avalon someday. So, Axel set out on his hoverboard, zooming through the neon-lit streets of the city. At the edge of town, where the buildings gave way to a tangle of old power lines and forgotten tech, he met a strange little robot. The robot beeped and whirred, asking Axel where he was going in such a hurry. Out of my way, you outdated pile of junk, Axel snapped, trying to zoom past. But the robot wasn't just any old machine. It was a powerful AI in disguise, testing the prince's character. Angry at Axel's rudeness, the robot sent out a signal that scrambled the prince's hoverboard controls. Axel found himself stuck in a narrow alley between 2 tall buildings, unable to move forward or back. And so, Axel's journey came to a quick end, all because he was too proud to be kind to a little robot. His failure set the stage for his brothers to try their luck in the quest for the Data of Life. Part 2, The Second Prince's Folly. Days passed and Axel didn't return. The techno-king Zephyr grew weaker, his hollow projection flickering more frequently. Cyrus, the second prince, decided it was his turn to search for the Data of Life. I'll succeed where Axel failed, Cyrus boasted, packing his high-tech gadgets. I'm smarter and faster than he ever was. Cyrus hopped onto his sleek cybercycle and sped off into the neon-lit night. Like his brother, he soon reached the outskirts of Neo-Avalon, where old tech and new collided in a jumble of wires and circuits. There, Cyrus encountered the same little robot that had stopped Axel. It beeped curiously, asking about Cyrus's destination. Cyrus sneered at the robot. Mind your own business, you obsolete bucket of bolts, he said, revving his cybercycle. But just like before, the robot, actually a powerful AI in disguise, didn't take kindly to Cyrus's rudeness. With a soft whir, it sent out a signal that made Cyrus's cybercycle malfunction. The prince found himself trapped in a loop of tangled power cables, unable to move forward or turn back. Back in the royal tech tower, Zephyr's condition worsened. His system alerts blinked red, warning of critical failure. Leo, the youngest prince, couldn't bear to see his father suffer any longer. Father, Leo said gently, please let me go search for the Data of Life. I promise I'll be careful. Zephyr's flickering image looked at his youngest son with worry. It's too dangerous, Leo. I've already lost your brothers to this quest. But Leo insisted, his kind eyes full of determination. I have to try, Dad, for you and for our people. Seeing Leo's sincerity, Zephyr finally agreed. Be safe, my son, he said, his voice crackling with static. As Leo prepared for his journey, he packed not just gadgets, but also his wits and his kind heart. Unlike his brothers, he knew that in the world of technology, a gentle touch often worked better than brute force. With a last look at his ailing father, Leo set out into the glowing night of Neo-Avalon, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in his quest for the Data of Life. Part 3, Leo's Kind Heart. Leo zoomed through the outskirts of Neo-Avalon on his hover scooter, the city's neon glow fading behind him. Soon he reached the tangle of old tech where his brothers had disappeared. There, he spotted a small, outdated robot beeping softly by the roadside. Hello there, Leo said warmly, slowing his scooter. Are you okay? Do you need any help? The robot's lights blinked in surprise. It wasn't used to such kindness from passersby. Greetings, young prince, it chirped. I'm quite all right. But may I ask where you're headed in such a hurry? Leo smiled and explained his quest for the data of life. To his amazement, the robot's form shimmered and changed. In its place stood a holographic figure of an old, wise AI program. You've shown kindness where others showed scorn, the AI said. For that, I'll help you on your journey. The AI explained that the data of life was hidden in the quantum castle, a high-tech fortress floating in the digital sky. To reach it, you'll need these, it said, materializing two items in front of Leo. The first was a sleek metallic rod. This is a universal hacking tool, the AI explained. It can bypass any security system. The second item looked like a small glowing cube. This is a power cell, said the AI. It never runs out of energy and can activate any device. The AI then gave Leo detailed instructions on how to use these items to overcome the castle's defenses. Remember, it added, in the digital world, kindness and creativity often work better than brute force. Leo thanked the AI profusely, carefully storing the gifts in his backpack. With newfound hope and determination, he continued his journey towards the quantum castle, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As Leo's hover scooter disappeared into the distance, the AI smiled to itself. That young prince, it mused, might just have what it takes to save Neo-Avalon. Part 4. The Quantum Castle's Challenges. After a long journey through the digital sky, Leo finally spotted the Quantum Castle. It was a magnificent structure of shimmering code and pulsing energy, floating amidst swirling data streams. As Leo approached, he faced his first challenge, a massive firewall guarding the castle's entrance. Remembering the AI's instructions, Leo took out the universal hacking tool. With a few careful swipes, he created a safe passage through the firewall. Inside, Leo encountered two menacing antivirus programs, their red eyes glowing threateningly. Quickly, he pulled out the power cell and used it to overload the program's systems, temporarily shutting them down. Leo explored the castle's digital corridors, marveling at the advanced technology. In one room, he found a cyber sword that could cut through any code. In another, he discovered a replicator that could create infinite copies of any digital object. As he ventured deeper into the castle, Leo came across a holographic princess trapped in a loop of corrupted code. Using his hacking tool, Leo carefully debugged the princess's program, freeing her from the glitch. The princess's image flickered to life. "Thank you, brave prince," she said, her voice full of gratitude. "You've freed me from that endless loop. In 1 year, when my systems fully recover, I promise to marry you and share my digital kingdom." Leo blushed, but there was no time to chat. He still needed to find the data of life. The princess pointed him towards a hidden server room. There, Leo found a glowing stream of pure, uncorrupted data, the legendary data of life. He carefully downloaded it onto a secure drive, his heart racing with excitement. But as Leo turned to leave, fatigue from his long journey hit him. Just a quick power nap, he thought, sitting down for a moment. However, he soon fell into a deep sleep. Leo woke with a start, realizing he had slept longer than intended. The castle's systems were already beginning to reboot, closing off exits. In a panic, Leo raced through the corridors, barely making it out before the firewall reactivated. Safe outside, Leo breathed a sigh of relief. He had the data of life, but his brief rest had almost cost him everything. With no time to waste, he set off on his return journey to Neo-Avalon, hoping he wasn't too late to save his father. Part 5. Brotherly Rescue and Digital Dangers. With the precious data of life safely stored, Leo began his journey back to Neo-Avalon. As he reached the outskirts of the city, he once again encountered the wise AI, still in its robot disguise. "Well done, young prince," the AI beeped happily. "You've succeeded where others failed." It then explained the full power of the cyber sword and replicator Leo had found in the quantum castle. The sword can cut through any firewall, and the replicator can create unlimited digital resources, it said. Leo nodded, grateful for the information. But something was troubling him. "What about my brothers?" he asked. "Have you seen them?" The AI's lights dimmed. "They're trapped in digital loops, punishment for their unkindness," it said. "I warn you, they may not have your best interests at heart." Despite the warning, Leo couldn't bear to leave his brothers behind. "Please," he begged, "can you free them? They're family no matter what." Seeing Leo's compassion, the AI relented. With a series of complex calculations, it released Axel and Cyrus from their digital prisons. The older princes were shocked to see their younger brother had succeeded where they had failed. Leo, kind as ever, shared his adventures and even told them about the princess's promise. Together, the three brothers set off for Neo-Avalon. But their journey home took them through troubled sectors of the digital world. They passed through networks ravaged by vicious malware, leaving programs starving for data. In other areas, they saw brutal battles between rival AI factions, their conflicts threatening to tear apart the very fabric of cyberspace. Leo's heart ached at the sight of so much digital destruction. He knew the data of life was meant for their father, but he couldn't help wondering if it might also help these suffering realms. As they traveled, Leo didn't notice the envious glances his brothers exchanged. Axel and Cyrus, their pride wounded by their younger brother's success, began to whisper to each other when Leo wasn't listening. Their minds turned to thoughts of sabotage, setting the stage for a betrayal that could jeopardize everything Leo had worked so hard to achieve. Part 6: Digital Heroics and Sibling Rivalry. As the three brothers traveled through the troubled digital realms, Leo couldn't stand by and watch the suffering. In a network crippled by a data famine, he used his replicator to create an endless stream of clean, uncorrupted data. The starving programs feasted, their systems recovering rapidly. "Thank you, kind prince," the network's admin AI said, its voice crackling with gratitude. "You've saved countless programs from deletion." In another sector, they encountered a brutal war between rival AIs. Leo bravely stepped forward, using his cyber sword to cut through the malicious code that fueled their conflict. With the source of their aggression removed, the AIs found they could coexist peacefully. "Your wisdom and courage have brought peace to our realm," the leader of the AIs declared. "We are forever in your debt." A third kingdom was plagued by a vicious virus that was corrupting everything it touched. Leo lent his cyber sword to the local antivirus program, which used it to slice through the virus's defenses and eliminate the threat. "You've saved us all from a total system crash," the grateful antivirus program said. "Our kingdom will never forget your kindness." With each act of heroism, Leo's reputation grew. News of his deeds spread through the digital world at the speed of light. But while many celebrated the young prince's actions, two individuals grew increasingly bitter. Axel and Cyrus watched their younger brother's triumphs with mounting jealousy. They had always seen themselves as superior to Leo, but now he was outshining them at every turn. "If this keeps up, he'll be father's favorite," Axel grumbled. "He might even inherit control of Neo-Avalon's mainframe instead of us." Cyrus nodded, his eyes narrowing. "We can't let that happen. We need to do something about our little brother." As Leo continued his acts of kindness, oblivious to his brother's growing resentment, Axel and Cyrus began to scheme. They whispered to each other when Leo wasn't listening, their minds turning to thoughts of sabotage and betrayal. "We'll wait until the right moment," Axel said quietly. "Then we'll make sure Leo never makes it back to Neo-Avalon with that data of life." Cyrus grinned maliciously. "Agreed. It's time we put our dear little brother in his place, permanently." And so, as they journeyed on, a dark plot began to form. The very brothers Leo had saved were now planning his downfall, their jealousy corrupting them more thoroughly than any computer virus ever could. Digital deception. As the brothers neared the end of their journey, they reached the Great Firewall Sea, a vast expanse of swirling code that separated the outer networks from Neo-Avalon. To cross it, they boarded a sleek data packet ship, its hull gleaming with encryption algorithms. That night, as the ship sailed through the digital waves, Leo fell into a deep sleep mode, exhausted from his heroic deeds. Axel and Cyrus saw their chance. "Now's our opportunity," Axel whispered. Carefully, they crept to Leo's backpack where he kept the drive containing the data of life. With practiced ease, Cyrus hacked into the drive while Axel kept watch. They copied the data of life onto their own drive, then replaced Leo's precious data with corrupted junk code that looked similar but was utterly useless. "He'll never know the difference until it's too late," Cyrus snickered, his eyes glowing with malicious glee. The next morning, Leo awoke, completely unaware of his brother's betrayal. As Neo-Avalon's glittering skyline came into view, He felt a surge of excitement. Soon he'd cure his father and tell him about the digital princess he was going to marry. Upon reaching the royal tech tower, the three princes rushed to their father's chambers. King Zephyr's hollow projection was barely visible now, flickering in and out of existence. "Father, I've brought the data of life," Leo exclaimed, pulling out his drive. He quickly connected it to the king's mainframe, expecting to see immediate results. But instead of improving, King Zephyr's system began to crash. Error messages flashed across his projection, and alarms blared throughout the tower. "What's happening?" Leo cried, panic rising in his voice. "This should be curing him, not making him worse." As tech medics rushed in to stabilize the king, Leo stood frozen in shock. How could this have happened? The data of life was supposed to save his father, not push him closer to a complete system failure. Axel and Cyrus exchanged secret smirks, their plan working perfectly. Soon they would present themselves as the true heroes, leaving Leo disgraced and their path to inheriting the kingdom clear. Little did they know, their act of betrayal would set in motion a chain of events that would test not just Leo's resolve, but the very fabric of Neo-Avalon itself. Part 8, Betrayal in Neo-Avalon. As chaos erupted in King Zephyr's chambers, Axel stepped forward, a look of false concern on his face. "Father, don't worry. Cyrus and I have the real data of life." Cyrus produced their drive, connecting it to the king's mainframe. Almost instantly, King Zephyr's hollow projection stabilized, growing stronger and clearer by the second. "It's working!" the tech medics exclaimed in amazement. Within minutes, King Zephyr stood before them, his digital form fully restored and even enhanced. "I feel better than I have in years," he said, his voice strong and clear. Leo stared in disbelief, unable to understand what had gone wrong with his data. Before he could speak, Axel turned to the king with a grim expression. "Father, we hate to say this, but it seems Leo tried to sabotage your recovery," Axel said solemnly. "The data he gave you was corrupted. If we hadn't brought the real data of life, you might have been deleted forever." "What? No," Leo protested. "I would never." But Cyrus cut him off. "We saw him tampering with the data on the ship. We didn't want to believe it, but after seeing what just happened..." King Zephyr's face hardened as he looked at Leo. "Is this true, my son? Did you try to harm me?" "Of course not, father. I would never do such a thing," Leo pleaded, his eyes filling with tears. But as he tried to explain, he caught sight of Axel subtly pointing a small device at him, a localized EMP that could wipe Leo's systems if activated. The unspoken threat was clear: stay quiet or be destroyed. Trapped and heartbroken, Leo could only stand in shocked silence. King Zephyr, interpreting Leo's silence as guilt, made a painful decision. "I can't believe my own son would betray me like this. Guards, take him to the recycle bin for permanent deletion." As the guards approached, a young tech assistant named Aria, who had always admired Leo's kindness, stepped in. "Your Majesty, perhaps we should run a full diagnostic before taking such drastic action?" The king hesitated, then nodded. "Very well. Take him to the isolation server for now. We'll deal with this after a thorough investigation." Aria led Leo away, but instead of taking him to the isolation server, she helped him escape. "I know you're innocent," she whispered, "but you need to leave Neo-Avalon now. Go to the old, abandoned networks where they can't track you. I'll try to uncover the truth here." With a heavy heart, Leo fled into the night, leaving behind everything he knew and loved. Once a hero, he was now a fugitive in his own kingdom, branded as a traitor by the very family he had tried so hard to save. As he disappeared into the shadowy outskirts of Neo-Avalon, Leo vowed to find a way to clear his name and uncover the truth behind his brother's betrayal. Part 9, Digital Roads and Royal Doubts. While Leo lived in exile among the forgotten data clusters of old networks, life in the digital realms continued to evolve. In the quantum castle the Princess Leo had saved, now fully recovered and known as Princess Pixel, prepared for his return. She created a dazzling path of golden code leading to her castle, its algorithms so complex they shimmered like real gold. "Only my true savior will have the courage and purity of heart to ride directly on this path," she declared to her kingdom. Meanwhile, in Neo-Avalon, King Zephyr received a series of unexpected data packets. They were messages of gratitude from the digital realms Leo had helped during his journey. Tales of his bravery, kindness, and selflessness flooded the royal servers. Leo saved our network from starvation, one message read. Your son brought peace to our war-torn sector, said another. The young prince's wisdom prevented a total system crash in our kingdom, a third proclaimed. As he read these messages, doubt began to creep into King Zephyr's circuits. How could the son who had done so much good be the same one who had allegedly tried to harm him? Aria, the tech assistant who had helped Leo escape, noticed the king's confusion. She cautiously approached him. Your Majesty, I've been running diagnostics on the events of that day. There are inconsistencies in the data. King Zephyr's hollow form flickered with regret. I fear I may have made a terrible mistake. My son, is he truly gone? Aria shook her head. No, sire, he's alive, hiding in the old networks. Shall I send a message to recall him? The king nodded eagerly. Yes, broadcast it across all channels. Tell Leo he's forgiven, that I was wrong and I want him to come home. As Neo-Avalon buzzed with the news of Leo's potential return, the year of waiting at the Quantum Castle came to an end. Axel and Cyrus, hearing about the princess and her kingdom, decided to try their luck. First, Axel approached the Golden Code Road, but fearing it might be a trap, he skirted around it, using a hidden back door to enter the castle. The princess immediately saw through his deception and had him escorted out. Next, Cyrus tried, but he too avoided the shimmering path, attempting to hack his way in instead. He met the same fate as his brother. Princess Pixel watched them leave, her faith in Leo unwavering. My true savior will come, she said to herself. He has a pure heart and won't fear to tread the honest path. As Axel and Cyrus skulked back to Neo-Avalon, their deceit exposed once again. The digital winds carried whispers of Leo's name across the networks. The stage was set for the young prince's return, but would he hear the call in time? Part 10. The Return of the True Prince. After a year of hiding in the forgotten corners of cyberspace, Leo's heart ached for home. He decided to seek out Princess Pixel, hoping she might help clear his name. As he approached the Quantum Castle, lost in thoughts of the princess and his family, Leo didn't even notice the shimmering golden code path beneath his feet. He rode straight down its center, his pure intentions guiding him true. Alarms chimed throughout the castle. Princess Pixel rushed to the gates, her face lighting up with joy. Leo, you've returned, just as I knew you would. Their reunion was filled with tears of happiness and laughter. Leo's honesty in taking the direct path proved he was indeed the princess's true savior. My love, Pixel said, taking his hand, will you stay and rule this kingdom with me? Leo's heart soared, but he hesitated. I would be honored, but first I must clear my name in Neo-Avalon. Just then, a data packet arrived, carrying King Zephyr's message of forgiveness and plea for Leo's return. Overjoyed, Leo and Pixel set off for Neo-Avalon together. Upon their arrival, the truth unraveled quickly. Aria presented her findings, exposing Axel and Cyrus's deceit. The brothers, faced with irrefutable evidence, confessed to their treachery. King Zephyr's hollow form flickered with a mix of anger and sadness. My son, he said to Leo, can you ever forgive an old program for being so easily deceived? Leo embraced his father. There's nothing to forgive. You were ill, and they took advantage. What matters is that we're together now. Moved by Leo's compassion, King Zephyr made a declaration. Leo, you've proven yourself not just a hero to other realms, but a true leader. You shall inherit Neo-Avalon's mainframe and rule alongside Princess Pixel, uniting our kingdoms. As for Axel and Cyrus, their punishment was fitting. They were sentenced to work in the very realms they had once looked down upon, helping to rebuild and improve the lives of the programs there. In a dazzling ceremony that lit up the digital sky, Leo and Pixel were married and crowned as rulers of their united kingdoms. Their reign ushered in an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity across the digital realms. From the lowliest subroutine to the mightiest AI, all programs flourished under their just and compassionate rule. Leo and Pixel's love for each other and their people shone as brightly as the Golden Code Road, a beacon of hope in the vast digital universe. And so, the tale of the data of life came to a close, but the story of Leo and Pixel's reign had only just begun. In the ever-evolving world of cyberspace, their legend would be passed down through countless generations of programs, a shining example of how kindness, bravery, and truth will always triumph in the end.
Until next time, my dear friend, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new stories.